You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Hispanic Chamber Connection. This is a radio program that features and promotes members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. This show is broadcast from the Lone Star Community Radio in downtown Conroe and can be heard at 104.5 and 106.1 FM on the internet or on irlonestar.com, or you can watch us as a Facebook Live on the Hispanic Chamber's Facebook page. My name is Tom Brody, and I'm the Vice President of Membership for the Chamber. This program is sponsored by the Amel Agency, who's an executive partner in the Chamber and a full-service residential and commercial insurance agency. One thing I'd just like to give you a quick update on Dr. Carlos Sanchez. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. He actually made the Woodlands meeting this afternoon. That was his first scheduled appearance, but I know he's going to be getting back into as normal a schedule as possible. So you'll be seeing more from him both on Facebook and on our upcoming meetings. So our guest today is Carlos Umanzor, did I say that right?
Umanzor, yeah.
Umanzor, very good. He's the operator of Universal Cooling and Heating. And Carlos, thank you for being with us today. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Excited to be here. Yeah.
Very good.
Looking forward to it.
Great. We're gonna talk to you in Carlos a little bit more in detail, but real fast, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Well, the best way to get a hold of me is through my cell phone or email or
Okay.
even text messages nowadays. So my number would be 713-385-3414. And the email address is universalcoolinginc@gmail.com.
And what's your website address?
My website address is universalcoolingheating.com.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're going to talk about is more with Carlos, but just wanted to let everybody know that the Hispanic Chamber Connection is a benefit of being a member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And so if you're a member and haven't been on this program yet, number one, shame on you. And number two, you need to reach out and get on here. Because like Carlos will say, this is easy. And he won't say that until afterwards, but I'm sure he's going to say this was the easy thing to do. So if you haven't been on the radio yet, please send me an email, tom@tombrody.biz, and we'll get you on the calendar. Now, we are scheduled up through the month of June, so it's going to be the end of June or July before the first availability. But this is a weekly program, and it runs from 2 to 3 on Tuesday afternoon, so we've got plenty of opportunities for you to get on. We also have a radio show in Spanish on Thursdays at 10 o'clock on AM station 920, and that's also booked up through June. So don't delay. You want to get on the calendar as soon as possible. One of the things that Dr. Carlos, our president, always says is the Hispanic Chamber has 4 goals in mind for its members. That is visibility, business connections, targeted education, and member advocacy. And I can think of no better way to fulfill all 4 of these goals than to have you and your business featured on one of our radio programs. We also have an email newsletter that goes out once a week to update our members and the visitors as to the events and training activities that go on. So if you're not getting the newsletter, again, please reach out to me, tom@tombrody.biz, and we'll make sure we get you on the newsletter. If you've got any questions that you'd like us to ask Carlos, because any AC questions or heating questions, one of those things, please text them to me, and we'll be sure to get them on the air. My number is 713-906-3710. So with all that out of the way, Carlos, tell us a little bit about Universal Cooling and Heating. How long has your company been in business?
We've been in business about 20 years, and
Okay.
It was started by my dad. And about 20 years ago, he turned 40, and he decided that he had done nothing with his life, and he wanted to
Except start a business, right?
Yeah. Well, after he left Mitsubishi Caterpillar, he was the maintenance manager there. He worked on all the equipment on the rooftops.
Okay.
And he decided that wasn't the way he wanted to spend the rest of his life. And he decided to open up a business, and he followed his passion, and he just grew it by word of mouth and marketing. Back in the day when people still used newspapers and yellow pages to get their name out there, he did it all. So we've been in business about 20 years now and going strong.
Okay, very good. So what do you have a particular service area that you serve, or all of Houston? Or?
Well, I would say all of Houston, right? There's a joke that Houston is 100 miles away from Houston.
Exactly.
So we serve Houston, Greater Houston, the Heights, everywhere in between, and even Atascocita, Humboldt, Tomball, everywhere.
Okay.
Pasadena.
So Southeast Texas, pretty much.
Yes,
almost,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, the Gulf Coast.
Okay, very good. So I understand you're taking over kind of as the primary operator of the business. Did you always know that you wanted to carry on the family business, or is that
No.
something that came to you later?
Yeah, definitely not. I was pretty aimless when I was younger. You know, I was a millennial. We didn't have any. I didn't have a calling. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Right.
I was forced into the business, and when my dad had his health condition, I had to take over.
Okay.
And I did it by obligation for a long time until I realized the gift I had actually been given. And especially after I had my daughter, I realized that I felt chosen. It was something. It was just a big thing, a big responsibility that I ended up falling in love with.
Okay.
And I love growing it now.
Right. Okay. So, and I know that you're fairly new to the networking world, as it was. So, was this something that your family suggested you do, or is it something that you brought to the table?
Yeah, this networking, I had never even heard of it. I didn't know what that was, and my parents never even brought it up. They never knew what it was either. And the only networking that ever went on was just because my dad, people liked him. He had a lot of friends.
Right.
So in his own way, he had been networking his whole life, and but not me. And So when I got into it, it was a very new thing. I didn't know what I was getting into, but it was totally my idea.
That's awesome. Well, very good. So, and I know you're a fairly new member of the Hispanic Chamber. So, what attracted you to the Hispanic Chamber?
Well, I was invited by Michelle Kalkoff.
Okay.
And she does computer wholesale
Mm-hmm.
and papers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was invited by her. And at first, I shrugged it off. I didn't know what it was, But then after a while, I started thinking about it, and I came with her to the restaurant.
Right.
For the lunch, and I realized that this was a place for me. Especially after I saw Carlos Sanchez and how he operated, and how he wanted you to grow. He expected you to grow as a person,
Right.
And I liked that. He wasn't afraid to tell you when you were wrong or how to improve yourself. And I knew that this was the place for me.
Well, very good. So, how is it? How have the referrals been since you've been a member of the chamber? Has that helped your business?
Yeah. I've definitely gotten business from
Okay.
here, and it ranges from just an estimate, driving across town just to give an estimate, which I enjoy because I get to meet new people,
Right.
And it's been all the way to complete system replacement. So I would say I've gotten I've run the gambit as far as referrals, and
Right.
it's just been a great experience. The whole
That's
time.
awesome. Okay. Well, very good. So, you mentioned a little bit that you were new to networking, and Carlos kind of pushed you to grow.
Yeah.
How have you grown? I mean, in what areas have you grown?
Well, I would definitely say that as nervous as I do get still, I have gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't think about it for days ahead of time when I'm about to go talk in front of people.
Okay.
And he's just introduced me to a lot of new ideas. He's really been one of the strongest forces for my personal growth and professional growth too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know it's always nerve-wracking to, there's a sayings that if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing.
Yeah,
And that uncomfortableness is hard to overcome. But once you get past that, you realize it's for the best.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, what's the best way to reach you? Give us your information
Yeah,
again.
so my phone number again is 713-385-3414. That's a cell phone, so
Mhm.
you can call or you can text me. Text is so convenient nowadays. And if you want to email me, that's universalcoolinginc@gmail.com. And our website address is universalcoolingheating.com.
Okay, very good, awesome. Now I know you're an AC repair, but also heating. But especially here in the summer, that's got to be brutal, being up in people's attics and stuff. But tell me, what's your favorite part of the business?
Yeah, I guess my favorite part, and one I didn't realize that I was going to enjoy so much, is being the hero. Even you would think that paying me would be a pain for people, but
Right.
once I rescue them from the heat,
Oh, yeah.
and especially the husbands, I rescue them from their wives because they're very happy and they treat me just the greatest. They'll give me drinks, they'll feed me, so I love
man.
it. It's got a lot of perks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the most common type of service repair that you run into?
Well, for the most part, I would say the biggest culprit for a failed AC unit is definitely the capacitor.
Okay.
And the capacitor is a part that helps motors operate, and without it, you're dead in the water. You
Yeah.
know. And I would say the reason they fail most often than not is probably a factory defect. They're not made how they used to be made. The
Okay.
installation's different, so they overheat a lot easier.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of warranty capacitors, and that's usually all I do throughout the year. And so I would say that's the most common problem I see.
But that's not a real expensive
No, that's an
thing
easy
to
fix. Yes.
Okay.
And a lot of customers even replace them themselves.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they're just that easy. But
Okay. Because I know the other big C word with air conditioning is compressors.
yeah,
And so-
that is not as easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good. So we're talking about AC systems, and I know the smart home things are really coming on strong. So Do you like kind of the Nest thermostats? Is that something that does that really make a difference in their AC bills?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the Nest. It's a very attractive thermostat. It looks great on any wall.
Yeah.
And it's especially when you use the Nest, when you allow it to do its job, and it's placed in a place where it's going to see people and it's going to see the traffic. So it's going to know when you're there and when you're not there.
Right.
It depends on where it is that it's going to be or operate the best. But it is great because in Houston, people like to keep their houses like meat lockers. And that's not the biggest problem. The problem is that when they leave the house, they leave it that way.
Right.
And so the bill just keeps racking up all day while they're out, and the house is being cooled for no reason. So the Nest and other thermostats that learn people's habits, what they do is that they make sure to shut them off while they're away. So they'll put it at a higher temperature, that's designed to keep it just cool enough to keep humidity controlled, but to the point where you're not cooling, people, you're not keeping people comfortable.
Right.
So it definitely helps. It definitely helps.
Because I know I've got one, and I'm not an electrical whiz at all, and I was able to install it myself, which was pretty cool. But then you tie it into your cell phone, right? And so as soon as it sees your cell phone leave the house, it goes into echo mode, and so you're saving money right there. So that's the way it's learning. So. Do you guys actually install those for people?
Yeah, we install them all the time. They're pretty straightforward. They're even, they're simple enough for a homeowner to install.
Yeah.
I just really recommend that you follow the directions and you label all the wires, because I have a lot of customers that try to do it themselves, and then they'll call me and they'll pay me the amount, that I would have charged anyway, and I'll have to make repairs because they didn't label the wires,
right?
And they burned out, a fuse or worse, or transformer, just because they didn't follow the directions that are explicit on the instructions.
Yeah.
So definitely it is a do-it-yourself, but definitely follow directions.
Yeah. So
especially for the men who like to break things first and then read what it said after.
Well, yeah, and that's the one thing I looked at too. Is that I was kind of nervous about doing it, but I said, let me read the directions, and it tells you. Label this, label that, and so then once it's all labeled, you didn't forget which wire was what.
Exactly.
Because I had new construction too, because I know that some older constructions, the wiring colors don't match what they're supposed to, so then that can be a challenge also.
The colors,
yeah. So do you guys sell Nest or other things? Do you prefer one or the other?
Well, I don't sell Nest too often.
Okay.
It's not my preferred. The one I like the most is actually the Ecobee. And you can find those everywhere too, Best Buy, Home Depot, Amazon. And the reason I like that one is because it's got a remote sensor. So you almost have two thermostats in one.
Oh, okay.
So let's say your thermostat is in a hallway, but you really want it to cool to what the master is. So you put a sensor in the master bedroom, and now that one becomes the one that regulates the AC.
Nice.
So that's why I like that a lot. And you don't got to run wires; it's battery powered. And I know the Nest came out with it now, but Ecobee is cheaper, and it has all the functions, and it looks just as nice on the wall. So for me, the Ecobee is just is a good value.
And how do you spell that?
Eco, like Earth, right? Eco, and B like the bee, like a buzz.
Okay, so ECOBE.
ECOBE.
Okay, all right, very good, awesome. Well, very good. We've been talking with Carlos Umazar, primary operator of Universal Cooling and Heating. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the most surprising thing Carlos learned since taking over operations of his company. Stay with us.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection. This is a radio program that features and promotes members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. My name is Tom Brody, and I'm the Vice President of Membership for the Chamber. If you have any questions that you'd like us to ask Carlos Umazor, please text them to me at 713-906-3710. So as we went to break, we said we're going to ask Carlos what was the most surprising thing he's learned since taking over operations of his family's business. So I'm going to start with that one. What was the thing that shocked you the most now that you're the man in charge?
Yeah, I would say the most surprising thing was how much I actually enjoyed the responsibility and how gratifying it is to be part of an organization and make it run. You
Really?
know, keep the wheels oiled and just make it move and make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's humbling, but it's definitely empowering. And what I'm so amazed by more than anything is just how big people's hearts are. Everybody I talk to, all my customers, people I just meet, from the chamber or just on the street that I start talking about it, they don't want anything but my success. And
awesome.
they want to do nothing but help me. They want to do nothing but inspire me. And that's just, I think it's given me a big heart, a bigger heart for people. And it's just amazing how positive people are when you tell them what you do. And it's been inspiring. It's been pretty awesome.
Well, and you're like you said, you're the hero pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to save them, especially if their air conditioning goes out.
Yeah.
It's always good to know an air conditioning guy.
Yes.
Someone that you can trust and know that you can call when you have an emergency.
Yeah.
Down here, when your AC goes out, it's an emergency. You got to get somebody solved that right away. So let me ask you. You said you kind of took over for your dad. Is he kind of out of it again, or is he kind of giving you some suggestions?
Yeah, he's
hints?
there. When I first started, he didn't like to give advice. He didn't like to train me. He didn't like to tell me
Really?
anything. Yeah, and because I went to school for this, so
Okay.
he expected me to know everything. And and I learned a lot of technical stuff, but when it came to business management and relationships, people's relationships with the customers, with people,
Right.
the only way I learned was through experience or just watching him.
Okay.
And nowadays he's been more open. He sees my struggles, and I guess we have a better relationship too. Over the years, I've learned to appreciate him after having to take over and be in his shoes. I think he's noticed that I appreciate him more. I respect him more, and that's allowed him to open up more. And he sees whenever I struggle with something, he's always there for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. So one of the things we were talking about before when we were at break was the whole the aspect of air filtration. Like everybody knows heating and cooling and HVAC, but the next thing of that is air filtration. So talk a little bit about what that is and how you guys are handling that.
Yeah, there's a huge industry in air filtration, and unfortunately, most of it is not part of the AC system.
Okay.
And that's one of the places that we have lagged behind as an industry and not offering that, because it is a huge concern for people, especially younger people, especially people with families and pets. And especially if you live in the city, smoke is a big deal.
Right.
And if you're not addressing that to people, they're going to look for it elsewhere. They're going to look for it elsewhere, and they're not going to feel taken care of if you don't bring it up. So it's definitely something that we started to bring up more often. It's a big industry. There's a lot of companies that do offer them, and it's something that we can install in the system itself, and it can completely replace the filtration system you have right now. That's just the filters in the wall.
Oh, really?
And so they're great. You can get just a regular standard filter, or you can go up and spend a little more, but get something that's super efficient, that uses all kinds of science and engineering to capture all those particles that you don't want in the air. You don't want to be breathing in and getting stuck to your lungs. There's a lot of options out there to get it really clean and how you expect it to be in your home.
So this is not something like you have to redo the whole ductwork or anything.
No,
it's just something
it takes some work, and,
Okay.
and you have to rip some ductwork out, and a lot of times you do have to rebuild the system right where you connect it. So
Okay.
it does take some work, but once it's done, it's plug and play, and it just needs some maintenance. And really, it's great, especially for people who don't tend to replace filters as often as they should. because it's usually like every 6 months that you got
Okay.
to do the maintenance. So if you get on a plan, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
no-brainer.
Well, and that was one thing I was going to ask you too. The whole idea about a service contract, right? And a lot of people think that, oh, I don't need those, or maybe I do. So talk a little bit about service contracts. Is that something that's worthwhile?
Yeah, I really recommend a service contract, especially a well-designed service contract, because not only will they give you discounts on repairs, but a lot of the problems that we run into, a lot of expensive problems, could have been caught. Could have been caught while they were just tiny problems,
Okay.
like a filter or a bad connection or low refrigerant. And people don't understand that it's a living organism, and everything has to work in sync for it to work like it should.
Okay.
And if you don't address something soon enough, it's gonna snowball into a big issue. Like if you run your system with low refrigerant, it's gonna overheat the compressor. It's just how it works.
Wow.
Because the refrigerant not only cools the house, it also cools the compressor.
Yeah.
So I really recommend them, and it just takes stress off your mind, stress away from you, so that you're not worrying about your AC. Someone's thinking about you and calling you before that time comes.
Right.
So I definitely recommend them.
Right. So the one service contract, does that cover like the air conditioning and the heating system, or you have to have separate?
There's different tiers, but yes,
Okay.
a service contract generally covers the whole system. And you would go out twice a year, once in the summer and once in the fall and once in the springtime, depending on what you're checking.
Right. Okay. Well, very good. So I know that when everybody hears like AC repair work, then they shiver because they're afraid it's going to be big money. But if somebody gets this is not from you guys, but if they get an estimate and somebody's wanting to replace the whole system,
Yeah.
should they go out and try to get a second opinion? I
Yeah.
know it's a hard thing to do when you're dying in the heat, but is a second opinion required?
Yes. I would always say that always get a second opinion.
Okay.
Always, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
I always recommend a second opinion, and because a lot of times, because our job is so technical, it's so scientific that people don't know about it. People don't know how things work in the system because
Right.
they're usually busy with their own careers, with their own responsibilities. So it can be easy to get lost in the details. And when it comes to our industry, it's easy to flood you with details, to just drown you in on all kinds of lingo and all kinds of technicalities. So I definitely recommend to get a second opinion. And whenever someone tells you got to replace the whole system, and it's not an old system, it's under 10 years old, I really become suspect because the furnaces can last 20 years.
Okay.
So I really recommend a second opinion, especially if they're telling you the whole system needs to be replaced, because often it's not the case.
Okay, because that was going to be my follow-up question. Is there some things to look for when somebody tells you
Yeah.
you got a big repair bill, and you're saying if you got a relatively young system under
Yes.
10 years old, and they're saying you have to replace the whole thing, that's a red flag.
That's definitely a red flag.
Okay, and you want to watch for those. Okay, awesome. So talk a little bit about the service contract, coming out, twice a year, depending on the heating or the air conditioning system. So when is the best time to have your AC system checked?
Yeah, for the summer, I recommend doing it in the springtime when it's already warm enough for you to get an accurate refrigerant pressure on there.
Okay.
Because the heat outside affects how your charge looks, and if you do it while it's too cool, you're not going to get the right charge in there. And if you do it when it's just right, then you're closer to how it's going to operate the rest of the year. So it's important. The temperature outside is very important. And then when the winter's coming up, I recommend doing it in the fall so that you just you check it before it gets too busy and before you have any accidents.
All right. So springtime in Houston is a little bit nebulous. So
Yeah.
give us a month.
I would say around March.
Okay.
Yeah, around March, and then in the fall about November.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So, like I said, if anyone has any questions, this is your time to get some free AC consulting. So text them into me, 713-906-3710. So we've been talking with Carlos Umazor. He's the primary operator of Universal Cooling and Heating. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the one thing that homeowners can do to help their AC systems work better. Stay with us.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
Hey, Montgomery County and online listeners. Thank you so very much for checking out Jazzy Vibes with Soul. What? You haven't done so yet? Well, you've got to tune in. Hi, I am the host of Jazzy Vibes with Soul, Miss CeCe Holmes, and I invite you to check us out every Friday and Saturday from 7 until 9 p.m., where you will get the best in old school R&B, and of course, a little smooth jazz to make it jazzy. So tune in. That's right, tune in every Friday and Saturday right here on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM, or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Yamel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Yamel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Yamel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Yamel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Yamel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.yamelagency.com. The Yamel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection. This is a radio program that features and promotes members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. My name is Tom Brody. I'm the Vice President of Membership for the Chamber. If you have any questions you'd like to ask our guest, Carlos Umazor, please text them to me at 713-906-3710. So when we went to break, we were going to promise that Carlos was going to tell us the one thing that homeowners can do to help their AC system work better. So Carlos, I'll turn it over to you. What's that one thing?
Yeah, the one thing that I would say that I've noticed over the years that people always seem to forget is the filters. And the thing is that when you're comfortable at home, the last thing you're thinking about is your AC system. You're thinking about everything else. So the filter has such an important role in how an AC system works that if you neglect it, it can not only, it'll stop cooling right, and it can lead to like very expensive problems. And a lot of issues in the AC system are related to the filter and how often it's replaced. Because like I said, it's a living organism, and everything needs to be working in sync for it to be working like it's supposed to.
Right. And filters are pretty inexpensive,
Yes.
right? But I mean, I know that like if you go to Home Depot, they have a good, better, best type filter. What's the best one to get? Because I've heard some AC guys tell me, that the best filter it may be too restrictive,
Yes.
and it's too hard. You're making your system work too hard to pull air through that very dense filter. So which is the best one you recommend?
Yeah, I don't recommend the cheapest one, that's for sure. And I don't recommend the most expensive one either.
Okay.
I would get the cheapest of the most expensive ones. Because a problem that we've noticed in Houston too is that whenever they install AC systems, especially back in the 70s, they wouldn't put enough return ducting. They wouldn't put enough return. So if you're putting a thick duct in there, you're already straining a strained system.
Okay.
So unless you have a house that was very well designed, the duct system was very, very well designed, you have a lot of return air, then I would stay away from that.
Okay.
So definitely go with the middle of the road. Definitely go with the middle of the road.
Okay.
And in case you seem to tend to forget, I recommend if you do still pay bills with checks and you send them over the snail mail, definitely line that up with when you change your filter, just as an additional reminder.
Okay, right. So you're paying rent or paying mortgage the first of the month, change your filter at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
that's a good idea. And one of the things that I know I do for my own, not for filters, but everything else, is everybody's got a smartphone now. You can put an appointment on your and have it recurring every month, first of the month or first Friday or whatever. So that way it beeps at you and reminds you to change it. Now you still have to go change it, but at least somebody's going to be reminding you about doing that. So that's a good thing to remember. So I know you guys, you said been in business for like 20 years. Do you sell all brands of ACs, or is there certain ones that you specialize in?
Yeah, we have access to every manufacturer. You know, all of them want us to sell. They just want to sell, right? So they don't care. They'll sell to anybody so that we can sell to our customers. But we have stuck to Train because not only are they very well recognized, you see I'm sure everybody knows about Train. Right. Every homeowner probably has seen the commercials, and they know that it's hard to stop a Train. But what I like most about them is because they are actually a quality product. Everybody says they're quality, but Train, actually, their engineers design every little piece of an AC system. They're well designed. They also think about us, the installer, the worker, the tech. Okay. A lot of companies don't think about us. They just look for the cheapest way to do it. But they actually think about how what's going to happen when it's time for us to go work in there. They make it convenient. They make it designed so that we don't have to spend all day replacing a part. And what my favorite thing more than anything is that they have a very strong support staff for technicians. So they have classes all year round. They have a lot of classes for everything. They don't just have one general class that teaches you everything. They rush it all in. Mm-hmm. They have very specialized classes for every aspect of an AC system. And if you ever need to get a hold of tech support, there's like 6 of them there waiting for you. And when you leave a message, they actually call you back, unlike a lot of other ones.
Wow, really? Okay.
And if you're on hold, it's probably 5 minutes max, which is okay because you got a lot of stuff to do anyway when you're on the field. So you just put it on speakerphone, you walk around and do all your other chores,
right?
And eventually they'll get back to you. And there's just so much support there for us. And I think more than anything, the biggest problem with the AC industry is that the techs are not well trained. And Train makes sure to train you. They make sure that you know everything about AC systems. And I just love that because they make it easy. They make it easy. And that's so important.
So the training, is it all online or do they have local classes?
No, it's in person, yeah.
Really?
It's in-person training. And they have props, they have everything. They have equipment there for you to work on, to look at, just to mess with. And they make it very interactive and hands-on, especially for us. We're most AC people, we didn't do great in school. We didn't want to sit in front of a chalkboard all day in front of a teacher giving us lectures. So we're very hands-on people. We like to stay active. We like to be engaged, and the classes make it that way.
Very good. So is there like a schedule for like continuing education classes that you need to go to?
Yeah, there's a schedule that they offer for the spring and the fall, and they just make sure that they're set at times that they know we can make it.
Right.
They know we can make it. So usually they're in the spring and usually they're in the fall, and sometimes they'll have classes in the winter and the summer, but rarely because they know that no one's going to show up. Because
you're busy. Yeah,
we're busy rescuing people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, very good. So is there like a certification that you get after going through so many classes?
Yeah,
that you kind of...
yeah, they give you a little thing, I guess, to take home to mom and dad, right, to put on the wall. But I guess the most valuable thing is just the knowledge they give you. But you definitely get certification, and they have all kinds of certification. I assume because the industry is pretty new compared to plumbing and the electrical, that you don't ever have to become a journeyman. There's no master, AC technician like there are master plumbers, master electricians. There's nothing like that, but there are private industries, private companies, corporations that make certifications so that you can market that and just show that you are a step above the rest.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the one certification you have to have that is actually mandated by the government now is EPA, and that's just a class you take so that you know that you can't just let refrigerant out into the environment. So it's more of a public safety thing,
right?
Health hazard thing, and but that's about it.
Okay, well, very good. So I guess the one thing we talked about a little bit is how long do AC systems last, and we talked about that a little bit about every 10 years. You said something like that.
Yes.
So are the systems lasting longer? Or are they lasting a shorter amount of time?
Yeah, they're definitely they're not lasting like they used to.
Okay.
Because I have seen equipment that has lasted like 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you will not see that with new equipment nowadays.
Okay.
And of course, a lot has to do with, I think, the culture. I think back in the day, our parents and grandparents were probably better at appreciating equipment, keeping up with it, making sure that they were taking care of it.
Right.
I'm just assuming that, but I think also things were made better back then.
Okay.
And nowadays, most things are made overseas from questionable materials, and but definitely not lasting like they used to.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the whole maintenance thing you talked about before, because
Yeah.
people forget to change their filters, and they say they've changed them, and they may have changed them just before you showed up.
Yeah.
Right. And you can tell, right? You can look at
tell.
a system and you know that, you just sucked that filter in 10 minutes ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Just like a mechanic can tell when he's checking the oil how often you check it just by
Right.
looking at it.
Yeah.
The conditions. Yeah.
Okay. We talked a little bit about the whole ducting in a house. So talk about that, because I know there's a lot of people that sell duct cleanings and things like that. Is that something that people should be concerned about typically?
Yeah, it's important. That's why the filter is so important, because it keeps the ducts from getting dirty.
Okay.
And a dirty duct will not only will it contaminate the house, but it actually restricts airflow. And especially when the blower wheel gets dirty, and especially when the coil gets dirty, it's bad news. So we don't recommend cleaning ductwork. It's very specialized, and it is pretty time if it's done right, it's very time consuming. And you actually have to tear into the ductwork. You have to cut it open, and you have to be very meticulous with it. And few cleaners do that.
Okay.
They just open up a grill and they run the brush through there without ever making sure that it's going through the curves, that it's going through the branches. And there's so many branches in ductwork.
Wow.
So there's a lot of possibility for a bad work, for half done work.
Yeah.
So duct cleaning is not something we recommend. Especially if it's old, we just recommend replacing it, because not only is it going to be better done, it's going to be better sealed, and it's going to actually save you money
Right.
because of all the heat absorption.
Right. And I would imagine, just from looking at some older houses, a lot of that stuff is starting to sag and everything else. And if you just clean saggy,
Yeah.
you're not going to have the best,
Yeah.
the best air transmission through the house,
Definitely.
because you're going through, a piece of ductwork that's kind of sagged in the middle. So now it's having to do extra work
Yes.
just to get there. So your big takeaway is to clean your filters,
Yes,
and keep your
replace
system
your
kind of
filters.
maintained, and that will lead to less dirty ductwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help their overall system. Yes.
Yeah.
And less money being spent for little things.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So what else is going on with you as far as your involvement in the chamber, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I always look forward to whatever classes are coming up. And I'm looking forward to the gala now. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that we're going to be talking about it so soon. From what I've heard, it's going to be exciting. I'm excited because it's going to be in the Galleria. I mean, that's an awesome place to have a party like that. And but I'm excited, and the Galleria is going to allow a lot more people to show up, especially from Katy and people already in the Galleria in the Woodlands. And it's just a great place to have it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to the summer that's coming up. I've been very busy. I've been very blessed already. So I already know that I'm gonna have to really start. I might have to hire more people to start helping me this summer, because
Really?
I've just been that busy.
That's awesome.
And I expect it to get worse, right? to
Yeah.
fix more broken ACs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And but yeah, I'm just I'm more than anything, taking over the company has really made me realize that I am capable of more than I thought I was. Because I wasn't challenged most of my life, I didn't realize that I could do things,
Right.
besides just the regular stuff, like everyday stuff. But I think that if you think you have limitations, they're all in your head. They're all in your head, and especially if you join a group like the Chamber that actually cares about you, that feels like a family, and wants to educate you, wants to make sure that you are the best in your industry, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, and I've totally felt that from this chamber. Everybody I talk to just wants to help me, wants to see who they can connect me with that's gonna help me, and it's great. And it's obvious that this chamber is focused on personal growth and professional growth as well, because we're always being challenged to think about how we can help each other.
Right.
It's rarely ever how I can help myself. It's always about how can I help other people, and how can I get better at helping other people.
Right. That's very good. Very good. Now, the one thing you mentioned on, and I want to take a second to talk about, is our Chamber Gala. That is going to be coming up in November 16th. If you're interested, go out to our new website, mytexaschamber.com, and go into the Chamber store. You'll see there's a link that says Chamber, and then the drop down, go down to Chamber store, and then you actually see you can buy tickets now. In fact, if you're a business and you want to sponsor a table, you can do that. So all those things are out there. It's available. You can pay online and sign up today, because I know that Dr. Carlos mentioned today at our meeting that the pricing now is kind of the lowest it's going to be. And as we go later toward the year, getting closer into that fall time frame, prices are going to go up. So we're wanting to get people, go ahead and sign up, get it on your calendar. and be committed to it so that you'll be ready for it when it comes. So very good. We are talking with Carlos Umazor. He's the primary operator of Universal Cooling and Heating. And we'll come back and talk some more with Carlos in a few minutes.
A Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Is there someone you know who is hooked on vintage aircraft? Follow the Commemorative Air Force and its fleet of World War II planes, including the mighty B-17 Flying Fortress Texas Raiders, which is based in Conroe, Texas. Texas Raiders tours locally and all around the United States, offering the public a chance to put their hands on aviation history. What could be a more perfect gift than a flight on a historic B-17? Taking to the sky on the iconic bomber is an experience that will never be forgotten. For the touring schedule, reservations, or more information, go to b17texasraiders.org or call 855-FLY-A-B-17.
The Hispanic Chamber Connection is sponsored by the Amel Insurance Agency, located at 719 Sawdust Road, Suite 103, the Woodlands, Texas. The Amel Agency is a family-owned insurance agency that provides home, life, automobile, and umbrella insurance coverage. Since 2006, the Amel Agency has been a bilingual insurance service for businesses and private citizens in the Montgomery County area. For more information on the Amel Insurance Agency, please visit the Hispanic Chamber Connection at www.irlonestar.com/HCC. The Amel Insurance Agency is available by telephone at 832-525-5656 or online www.amelagency.com. The Amel Insurance Agency is a sponsor of this program, and the Hispanic Chamber Connection thanks you.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the Hispanic Chamber Connection, a radio program that features and promotes members of the Texas Gulf Coast Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Today we're talking with Carlos Umazor. He's the primary operator of Universal Cooling and Heating. We're talking about a lot of different things, but I know, Carlos, you wanted to talk about the Chamber app for the Chamber of Commerce. I'll let you talk about it as a user. You talk about the Chamber app.
Yeah, I think the Chamber app is a great resource that people haven't realized exactly how important it's going to be and how game-changing it's going to be, I think, for their business, especially as being a member of the Chamber. Because people will be able to refer you easier. You'll be able to refer people easier, and it'll keep track of a lot of information that you can't just come up with from the top of your head. And because it's a Google partner, there's a lot of that goes behind the scenes with Google and how they perceive you and how they rate you and how they categorize you. And when they see that you're being connected with a lot of people, they see that you're related to a lot of other people, they want to move you up that chain. They want to move you up that chain, and that's super beneficial to you, especially if you do a lot of stuff online, which we all will. If you don't do it already, you're going to be forced to be online.
Right.
And absolutely, this is the future, and I think that the app is something that people need to get involved with. Make sure that they put in their 2 cents, they give their feedback, because the more that they interact with it, the more they're willing to give information about it, the better it's going to be, and the more beneficial it's going to be to them.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely down for the app. I'm going to use it as much as possible, and and I'm gonna always encourage people to use it because it's a great resource.
Yeah. Now, did you have any feedback into designing your app? Because
No.
I saw your page and it looked great.
Yeah, well, I guess the only thing that I noticed so far, because it's done very well,
Yeah.
and is maybe there could be a favorites list, something that so that you don't have to search for certain kind of people.
Okay.
And they're already on that just immediate favorites list, and it just pops up. And they're the first person that comes up for that.
Okay.
So beyond that, I can't really think of anything.
Okay. But I know that on the Chamber app, you can actually have the premier piece of kind of like a landing page. And I was looking at yours, and yours looks great. I mean, I don't know if you picked the pictures that are up there.
Yeah, they were picked by our website designer.
Okay.
But I would like to go in there and make some that are more personal,
Right.
personalized.
Yeah.
To us.
Need a picture of you. There's no pictures
Yeah,
of
there's
you
no
on
picture
there.
of me, yeah.
That's one thing that I did, like on my page. I actually put a picture of me out there, right? Because if you've got kind of generic pictures of AC repairmen or something, they want to make sure they've got the right one.
Yes.
Right? That they met you at a meeting or something. And I tell people on their web pages, have a picture of you. I mean, if you're the business, you're the face of the business, they want to make sure they've got the right page.
Yes.
Whether it's in the Chamber app or actually on the website as well. So that's one thing that's really critical. So we've been talking about AC and stuff, and now I'm sure you've got some horror stories or maybe some funny stories about service calls and things you've run into. So without naming names, of course, what are some of the things that you found that were most surprising, I guess?
Yeah, I guess the thing that was most shocking to me is how many animals you run into in the attics. And at first when I was younger and when I started doing this, I was afraid of ghosts and I was afraid of attics. And I thought there were stuff living up there.
Right.
And then I found out that the truth was worse because there were animals that usually wanted to attack me.
Oh, wow.
And raccoons, they feel cornered up there.
Okay.
So I've had to run away screaming, but the worst is when you open up a condenser and there's a snake curled around the compressor.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably the worst thing that I've ever seen. It was a snake. But luckily, it wasn't poisonous, and it went, on its merry way because it was more afraid of me.
Right.
And but I would say the worst part about this is when you're out there in the country, because that's where you're gonna really meet some strange things out there, some strange animals.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. So one thing that we talked about off air that I didn't realize, and we were talking about the brands of AC systems, and you said that the Train is made local, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Where are they made?
They're made in Tyler, Texas.
Tyler, Texas. So
Yeah.
that's probably one of the best reasons to buy a Train,
Yes.
for sure, because it's made local, not in China somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's made in the country of Texas, and that's a big selling point for a lot of us proud Texans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, and it's a great unit, and I want nothing more than to support my state. So
Right. That's awesome. Very good. Okay. Well, what are the other things that you've got? Do you have any specials and service contracts or anything going on this year?
Yeah, well, honestly, a lot of specials go on the low season. And,
Okay.
So if you want to do any kind of work, the best time to do it is in the spring and the fall.
Okay.
Because it's more comfortable and people are more competitive, and you're not in a rush to get it done.
Right.
Like you said earlier, when it's summertime and it's 120 degrees on the second floor, you're not going to be calling people for bids.
Right.
You're going to be desperate. You're just going to want to get it fixed, and you're not going to be thinking clearly. You're going to let your emotions think for you.
Right.
So definitely, if you want to get a good price on something, get it done while it's still slow. Contractors are more competitive then. They're hungrier
Right.
because business is slower. So definitely, if you want to get any kind of deals, definitely do it when the season's low.
Okay.
And especially if you care about us, if you're gonna have us replace equipment, replace ductwork, let's do it when it's more comfortable.
Right.
I'm more than happy to give discounts whenever I can do work and when it's cooler up in the attic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be brutal up at this time of year. So, I had a thought and I totally just lost it. I can't believe it. That's the first time it's happened to me. One of the things I was gonna ask about was, when you're talking to other people. Oh, here's the question. where do you get most of your customers? I mean, I know you get some from the chamber now, but I guess as a business, we kind of talked about Yellow Pages and newspaper ads and stuff like that. Where are most of your customers coming from now?
Yeah, I would say that we haven't done any marketing for the last 8 years, and because it's
as far
all
as
been
paid
word of
advertising.
mouth. Yeah, paid advertising. Yeah. It's just been word of mouth.
Wow.
It's just been people wanting to recommend us to other people. And that's kind of what I've realized was so important about the networking.
Okay.
Because they really stress the whole idea of personal relationships.
Right.
And building those relationships and making sure that you're keeping up with the promises you make. And because I saw that correlate so much with the business, and I realized that the reason people were calling us, were calling my dad, was because of him. They remembered him, they liked him, they wanted to refer him, they wanted the best for him, they trusted him to be in their house. And that's one of the other things too that I just find so amazing, is that we're one of the few people that get allowed into someone's house. That we're pretty much given the keys to the city, right?
Right.
And I'll go into so many houses, and the customer goes to the living room, watch TV or read the newspaper, and they just let me roam around. Completely just putting all that trust in my hands.
Right.
And that has really humbled me. That has given me such an appreciation for people. And it's just one of the things that motivates me to be good at what I do, and to treat them with respect, because they give me that much respect to just let them walk around the house.
That's a great story. Great story.
Yeah.
So how do people contact you again? Give me all your details.
Yeah, so I have multiple cell phones, obviously, but the best one to reach me at is 713-385-3414. And you can call me or text me at that number.
Okay.
And if you want to call the office, that one is 281-580-7271. And if you're still into faxes, we have a fax too.
Really? Who faxes anymore?
Yeah, I don't know, but some people do. And that's 281-580-4349.
Okay.
And really the only people who use those are people trying to sell us stuff. So you'd probably be the only person using it besides them.
Okay.
And if you want to email us, you can reach us at universalcoolinginc@gmail.com.
Okay. Now, I think I saw on your website, people can actually schedule an appointment.
Yes, you can schedule an appointment through the website, and that's a great way to do it too, because that goes directly to an email as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so not many people use that, because websites kind of are in a way losing ground in the war, but Facebook has become huge, and I'm on Facebook too. So that's a great way to reach me. If we're not friends, I'm more than happy to be friends with you, and you can send me a direct message or message the business through Facebook.
So is it under your name or the business name?
Yeah, the business has its own page, which will be Universal Cooling and Heating.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've got your own personal page
Yes.
on Facebook as well as the company page.
Yeah, and there's some crossover.
Okay.
I do a lot of videos for people just to educate them.
Okay.
And I try to post them on the business page as well.
Okay.
So one way or another, you can reach me.
So if you got a YouTube channel?
It's one of the things I've been working on.
Okay.
I've been focused on Facebook a lot,
Yeah.
because it seems like a full-time job as it is, and you know all about that.
What-
But
Yeah, absolutely. But I think if you've got those videos on Facebook, put them on YouTube as well, and then you can cross-promote them that way.
Mm-hmm.
But having things on a YouTube channel is going to help your SEO and help your website, definitely.
Yes.
So, okay. Well, very good. Carlos, thank you very much for being on. We've been talking to Carlos Umazor. He is the principal, getting ready to be taking over the Universal Heating and Cooling. But come back with us next week, and we'll talk to another chamber member. You guys have a good week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for checking out this show on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. This show is owned and produced by Lone Star Community Radio and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. For more information about the show, to be a guest, or to sponsor, just contact the studio at 936-647-3776 to leave a message, or email us at lscrstudios@gmail.com.